Hey folks, doing a quick video here to talk about our growth plan. It's how we develop a growth plan for your business. We have a new version of our process for 2021, and we invite you to connect with us. Um, we would do this at no cost, and it's a way for us to make sure that we've actually done all the proper research so that you can hit all your objectives for the year. Probably helpful to know who we work with and who trusts us. So just a handful of clients here. We're also the first online retail agency ever, founded in 1997. In the Google Ads space specifically, one of the most competitive spaces, we are top five advertising managers. So based on how much volume we manage, we're actually the largest ad spend managers on the East Coast. And in the last 12 years, we've been on the Inc. 5000 10 times. We were founded by Scott Smigler. Scott started the company when he was working on the floor of his dad's retail shop and also building the first search engines and first directories online, and just knew this was all going to come together. So launched the first online retail, first e-commerce agency. So the growth plan is meant for people who are looking to grow either on the revenue side or profit or brand or some combination of two or three of those. We identify first what those objectives are, and then we start to work on understanding the factors that might influence um, achieving those. So we start off by exploring your business, trying to get down to things like the foundation of your business, who's leading it now, the genesis, your current X factors. Are you planning to disrupt the market? Are you planning to defend it? And the way we do this is by kind of asking a hypothetical question. Would I invest $1 million of my own money in your business? It means we have to do a lot of research. We have to kind of figure out what it is that makes us believe in you. A lot of that is done at the X factor level. You look at um, your site, so let's say Nike versus your competitors like Adidas or Puma. Try to see what's common, what's different, understanding your R&D, your personality, how you've been picked up by the zeitgeist, etc. We need to start defining those factors. So later, when we're analyzing your social media presence, for example, we can see whether those X factors are present in the customer journey. We like to analyze your trends versus searches in your market, searches for your brand, your competitors' brands. Always want to see who's bankrolling the most momentum in your market, but also kind of over a period of time, how has that changed? How have your competitors and your brand responded to COVID, for example? Then we start to think about the marketing approach, what it needs to be and where it is. So we like to recap your current investments, your breakdown of agency versus in-house, which we work with both as your agency or with your in-house team, what your performance has been versus the objectives, your budget versus your targets. And we start to dive in a little bit into consumer behavior. Consumer behavior has been around for decades, but not always utilized properly in digital marketing. We only buy in one of four ways. So trying to find which way we should lean into for your brand allows us to go all in on having someone go towards the final sale. There is a science behind this. We have to follow that science. We also want to make sure that we are moving the needle with every advertisement. Uh, Ads should either build cognition, which is facts that are recalled about your brand, or affect, how people feel about your brand, or reinforce behavior, what you're supposed to do with those feelings and those facts. So want to audit to make sure that the way you've been approaching things is actually moving the needle in behavior every time someone interacts with your ads. We pour all this information about your X factor, your market growth, your competitors, consumer behavior, your history into a plan. And that plan must have certain elements. We always need a top of funnel. A top of funnel is us preparing to introduce the brand to people. Sometimes it's because they searched for something that we sell. Sometimes it's because we're targeting them based on something we know about them. So it's transactional versus targeting, the yin and yang of top of funnel. We then want to build a second machine, which is how do we nurture people to their final sale? If it takes 7 days to make a sale and only 20 minutes of that is going to be on your website, virtually all of our sales are going to happen over the 7 days of offsite remarketing. That's a nurturing machine. And then after someone has matriculated to become a customer, what machine do we build now to get lifetime value, repeat purchases, reviews, customer referrals? So you have to think about these three machines as separate entities. For top of funnel transactional, to better understand that, that means someone types in your brand or your competitor's brand, or they don't know the brand yet. It's good to audit what's happening for these searches on Google, Google Shopping, Amazon, and start to prepare to have different cost per acquisition goals, different budgets for each of these three strategically different components of your transactional top of funnel. We also like to measure in terms of SEO transactional differences. What is the gap in presence between you and your competitors? What are we missing? We also like to measure SEO utilization. So every website has a certain amount of credit from Google. And then through relevance practices, you can turn that credit into rankings. So ideally, about 25% of the keywords you rank for are on page one. That's great utilization. So we like to measure what the gap is and understand how much progress can be made on the SEO side. We like to analyze your email program, see what you're doing right now. We use Mild.com for this, and start to make recommendations about segmentation, about automated tracks, about newsletters and promotions, and becoming the authority in your space. If we can get access to analyzing your competitors' emails programs, even better. Same thing for social. We like to look at what ads you're running right now on Facebook and Instagram and your competitors as well. Are you doing enough to connect dynamically? Are you balancing cognition, affect, and behavior? Are you focused on a persona and activating that activity? If not, we know what we need to do. We'd also want to make sure if we need to validate to buyers that you're a trustworthy brand, that we can go out there and mine all the user-generated content that is out there based on potentially myriad hashtags in your name. And then we like to summarize all this as best as possible. First, starting with a demonstration of our technology, reporting technology specifically. So we have about 240 employees right now, as of filming this video. And about 100 of those employees are data scientists. They pull in data from ranking technologies, Google Ads, Bing Ads, Google Analytics, Facebook ads, Amazon, the back end of your e-commerce store, your ESP. Potentially we scrape pricing intelligence and bring that in to one data engine for your business, and all of that gets pulled into reports. All of that gets pulled into feed technology as well, so we can market better. And then we try to summarize all the components, the plan for each of the components, how they'll work together, what the pricing will be, what your team structure will be. And that's it. If you're interested in this growth plan, there are many ways to reach out to us. Hopefully we're reaching out to you right now, and you can just let us know you're open to this. It doesn't need to be a plan to do all the channels. It's helpful for us to understand how we think we should grow your business, and then figure out what parts you'll do versus us versus other agencies. So we're open to a lot of different setups. So thank you for watching the video, and hopefully this was helpful. Hopefully we can get started on this process soon.